Yo. How's everybody doing? Mr. Boy Mitchy Met. Join me as we go through the ups and downs of the 2026 baseball season for your New York Mets. This is episode one of the Mitchy Met podcast. We're going to be doing game reactions, reacting to news, anything Mets related, predictions, post game, breakdowns. And yeah, I'm a diehard Met fan, so we're just gonna be, we're gonna be rooting for the Mets. And let's get into it. Today is March 26th. It's Thursday. It's opening day. I know everybody's been, finding out how to watch the game, and it's a shame. I mean, opening day, you want all the Met fans, all the families to be able to watch, together. But it's on Peacock, and it's always complicated. So. I've been wanting to get this episode out to you guys. We're gonna be, releasing content in the near future for this season, and I just wanted to start it out. I'm watching the game right now, so I'll probably react to the game a little bit and get into episode one, which my idea was just to basically go over 2025, which seems like a moot point at this point, but as last year I went to a few games, I had some experiences, so I'm going to go through that, and I can kind of break down the game. Please like, share, subscribe, because I do want to go live at some point, so we can give the the game. We could do the game live. I could break down the game for you guys. As Juan Soto is up in the second inning. The Mets took a 5-2 lead against Paul Skeens, man. Paul Skeens, it looks like he was I don't know, maybe he's a little winded from the baseball classic. There were some good hitters there. As Juan Soto grounds out to first base. So 1 out in the second inning. And yeah, when he started off the inning, he pitched well. Lindor got on a walk. He took that first at bat was like nine, I think 9 pitches. Um, it was 3-0, and really on the 3-0 pitch, they called a strike on the outside of the plate. Lindor didn't challenge it. It was a ball. It looked like a ball, but they didn't challenge. 3-2 looked like a ball as well, but they didn't challenge it again. And then after that, Lindor worked the walk as Bo Bichette makes his second plate appearance. And Juan Soto, Juan Soto fought off a single, right off his hands. He fought off a single, so there was runners at the corners. Bo Bichette hit a sac fly. Polanco hit a dribbler, um, infield hit, and what else happened? I think the next guy got hit by a pitch. I see. I gotta break it down while I'm watching it because I was just in shock watching. And Brett Beatty comes up with the bases loaded. He hits, looks like a liner to center field, and it looks like Cruz is gonna catch it, the center fielder for the Pirates, and he just misjudges it. There's a lot of green out there in City Field, and a lot of field to cover out there, and he misjudges it. The ball goes over his head, and Beatty ends up with the 3-run triple. So, as Skeens hit somebody after that. There's a wild pitch to Lindor. Yeah, they batted around the first inning. As Ramirez in the bullpen for the Pirates, he gets the first 2 outs in the second inning. Bo Bichette strikes out, and as Polanco comes up to the plate. So yeah, I wanted to break down pretty much my recap of last year. So pretty much I wanted to get this out. It's therapeutic, like to go through what happened and then, just get it out there, and that way we can go through 2026 on a clean plate, on a clean slate. I'm sorry. So I wanted to make that the beginning of the collapse video of 2025. And I was gonna do it earlier, but it's been busy. So for me, I believe that the collapse started June 12th. Okay. To give context, the Mets are have the best record in baseball. And I'm telling my wife, like, I'm excited in April, I'm excited in May. And she's like, it's still early. And the Mets, they let you down, so don't get too high. And that's my problem. I get too high. I go to 100 with my team. I was in the 2000 World Series. I was there when my dad took me game four, Subway World Series. So as Polanco takes a four-pitch walk. And yeah, so we're playing against the Nationals. Kodai Senga's on the mound. At this point, he's pitching like an ace. I'm very excited for Senga this season. And he's pitching, he was pitching in his ERA was under 2 at this point. And there's a routine ground ball to Pete Alonso. We're winning 4-0 in the game in the sixth inning, and it pulls him off the base, and he just throws a lollipop to Senga. Senga reaches back, hurts himself, and he just never he gets injured. When he comes back, he's not the same pitcher. He can't pitch like he was. He was struggling a lot. And that was the beginning of the end for me, June 12th. We got the win. We won 4-3, and but we lost the war. Okay. At this point, I think I'm flying to New York the next day. I was visiting family. I grew up in Long Island, so the Tampa Bay Rays are playing against the Mets June 13th. And in this game, Tampa Bay, the story was the errors. They made 3 errors. I'm at a bar called Billy's Beach Cafe, a sports bar. If you know, you know. Shout out to Kev, the bartender, legendary. And my sister, I'm there with my wife, my sister. My sister invites friends, family. Um, as Roberts grounds out, hits a chopper at the shortstop. So that's the end of the okay, bottom of the second inning coming up. Sorry. But yeah, so I'm at the bar. I'm saying hi to friends, family, and then you see the game, and it starts off. We start off losing 1-0 in the fourth inning, and then Pete Soto hits a dribbler to Taj Bradley, and he makes an error. Soto gets on base. Pete hits a liner to left field. The Mets load the bases with 1 out, and they come away with 2 runs. So they end the inning winning 2-1. But when you have bases loaded, 1 out, you want to score more runs. So like in this game, you put up 5 against Skeens in the first inning, and chances are you're going to do well this game. It's still early, as the bottom of the second is coming up. And in the fifth inning, Nimmo hits another like dribbler to the first base. He makes an error. I think the first baseman makes an error. They load the bases again. Soto draws a four-pitch walk. We're winning 3-1 at this point. So we're feeling good. It looks like Tampa Bay is like imploding. Looks like they didn't want that win that night. But yeah, still early. The the bases are loaded with nobody out. Mets get a couple of hits. We're winning 5-1 at this point. It's the fifth inning, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a good night. I'm with family. The Mets are winning. What could be better? Sixth inning, Paul Blackburn comes up, and if I never hear the name Paul Blackburn again, like I'm glad he's on the Yankees. It'll be too soon. Okay, he comes up, he lights the game on fire. That's I can't say it any other way. How do you take a 5-1 lead and from memory, he was walking everybody. Um, and then Max Kranick comes up to try to, clean up his mess. And we end up losing the game 7-5. And um, Mauricio strikes out a few times this series with the bases loaded, runners on base. But I feel bad for him. He didn't have as many at bats. Um, You know, as far as the baby Mets, we last year it was more Beatty, Vientos, but they needed everybody. They needed McLean, they needed Jonah Tong, they needed Brandon Sproat, and they needed Mauricio, but he didn't end up getting a lot of playing time. So I think that affected his at bats. And hopefully this year, he's going to be in AAA. Hopefully he does well as Peralta's pitching in the top of the third. And yeah, so who would have known June 13th? this would be like this first loss, the season would just continue on a downfall. With a slow death, you know. Um, June 14th, Miguel gets the start, first inning. I'm sorry, he pitches 4 innings, gives up 6 runs. Miguel's that guy that, like, you have a softball team and one of your players, he can't make it because he's hungover. So he's like, Miguel, like, we know you're Trevor's brother. You play baseball. You come play with us. He's not on the team this year. I think he's hurt, actually. I gotta look into that. But I remember the first inning. This is the impression I got from this game. First inning, we hear the My Girl song. Lindor is up. He gets out. Nimmo hits a liner or a single to left field, and then Soto hits a double play. That's what the season was last year. Like, it was always we couldn't get runs in the first inning, and that was so frustrating because in 2024 it seems like that's all we did. We always got to early leads. As Davis grounds out to first base to third base, and 1 out in the top of the third inning. Peralta, he looks like he's locking in after giving up a 2-run homer in the first. Um, but yeah, let's go to the next game. The next game I won't forget. Hold on as I look at my notes because I'm trying to remember what I uh, re-jog my memory. So I'm in New York at the time. June 15th is Father's Day. I get the tickets. I take my daughter and my wife. My son was he was too small, so we left him at home. But we go to watch the game, right? It's kind of a rainy day, a little bit cloudy, cold. And we go to the upper level, to the food court. And that was it was pretty cool. They got a big screen back there. If you guys have a family, I recommend you guys go there. They got pizza, they got food for the kids, beers for the adults, and some good food as well. So we're up there, we're watching the game, and Shane Baez, Baez pitches a shutout against us this game. Canning, Griffith Canning gets the start. He pitches 4 1/3. He gives up 4 runs, 5 walks. And Tampa Bay was hitting infield bunts, singles. They were doing everything right. That the way I wanted the Mets to play, that's how they were playing. They were hot around this time until they ultimately fell off and Toronto took the AL East. But one thing I remember from this game, ninth inning, Caminero hits a 3-run homer we lose 9-0. It's just you ruin everybody's Father's Day when you play like that. Like, yeah, if you lose, you lose, but at least come away with, like this game right here. There's some fight, as the Mets are winning 5-2 in the top of the third. Um, and O'Neal Cruz is on the mound. I'm sorry, at bat. It looks like he struck out on a check swing. The count is 3-2. Peralta to pitch, fouls it off to the left field line. Peralta locked in. Now let me check how he's doing. Who would have thought that between Skeens and Peralta, Peralta would be the one that's doing well, as he walks O'Neal Cruz. He's got 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. Um, Juan Soto got a hit. Skeens gets 2 outs for the whole game. Oh, the Mets challenged it. The Mets challenged it, so it's an ABS it's challenge and it's a strikeout. It's a successful challenge. I wanted Lindor to challenge in his first at bat, but he ended up getting the walk anyway. But he would have won both challenges. I don't know if maybe they didn't want to use it in the first, or maybe you want to use it after a lead. It's going to be interesting to see this ABS system. Yeah, so after this Father's Day last year, we get swept by the Braves. I'm in New York. I'm trying to watch a win while I'm over here visiting my mother and nothing. So we're flying back. Um, the Mets lose 2 out of 3 in Philly, but as Lowe gets another one, is this his second homer? Lowe gets under one. He hits a home run to right center field, and Is this guy's second? Is he the one who hit the home run in the first inning? I believe it is. Second home run this game. Wow. Um, yeah, his name is Lowe. I don't really know much about the Pirates, but that guy's killing Peralta right now. Peralta's got 43 pitches in the top of the third inning, with two outs. Yeah, so I was talking about the Phillies series after getting swept by the Braves and swept by the Rays. I'm wearing a Mets hat and I see a guy at LaGuardia and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a Mets fan, but we're on a losing streak." The Mets were just playing bad baseball at this point. And I tell him it was the second game of the series, and I'm like, I have a good feeling about this game. But I didn't know what was going to happen, what happened. 7 home runs in this game. Mick Gable gets the start. He's pitching in the first inning. Nimmo hits a home run off of him. The Phils take a 3-1 lead in the third as Reynolds hits a single to Juan Soto in left field. Okay, so and then in the third inning, down 3-1, Lindor hits a solo home run. Nimmo hits a home run, another one, and Soto hits a home run back to back to back to take the lead. And I'm on the plane. You get the airport Wi-Fi. Excuse me. You get the airport Wi-Fi. You're watching the game on the flight. There's nothing better than that. How else are you gonna make time pass? That's the best way. Especially torching his pitcher against the Phillies. There's nothing better than that. Um, and yeah, so in the sixth inning in this game, Lindor gets a 2-run double with runners at the corners. So Lindor hits one to right field, and this is where Castellano gets lost. He almost runs into the foul wall, but the ball ends up in play, bouncing off the wall. Just completely misjudged the ball, like Cruz earlier. Cruz dropped the pop up in the first inning. That did not help his ace out there, Paul Skeens. As Ozuna hits one, and then Luis Roberts with a diving catch just in center field to help out Peralta. Um, that ends the third inning for the Pirates. So bottom of the third coming up, and I'll let you know who's at bat. Please like and subscribe so I can go live. This is my first kind of test run here. But yeah, the eighth inning in this game, I'm on the plane. I'm watching Jared Young. If you know him from the WBC, he played for Canada. Didn't really hit for a high average, but when he gets under one, it's leaving the yard. And hits a home run in the eighth inning. He actually made the team, so he's going to be on our bench again. Mendy likes either Mendy or David Stearns likes Young because I feel like there were some other people who could have made the team, but they like Jared Young. It'd be nice if he walked more. His average is in the hundreds, but yeah, then the last thing I remember was Frankie Alvarez hitting a bomb, a moonshot, 452 feet in Philly. And the Mets end up winning this game 11-4. Um, and then I'll fast forward to August. My birthday was August 2nd, so I'm in New York again. I want to see a game. It's against San Francisco. Frankie Montas is pitching. So I kind of want to call the game. So you know what? Enough said. Frankie Montas gives up. I don't know. We lose the game 12-4 against San Francisco. Rafael Devers hits a 3-run bomb against us. Yeah, I remember this fan was just talking like they had a rookie pitching that day, August 3rd. And the rookie worked us for 4 innings and we couldn't get out of it. That guy Jung Ho Lee he played amazing against us. We couldn't get him out. Singles, triples, doubles. This guy Lee hit everything. Um, but at this point, our record is 63-49. So we how could you not have hope at that time? Um, you know, the end of August, I'm gonna fast forward again. We sweep the Phillies in Queens, 3-game series. Game one, well, Christian Sanchez was pitching for them. This is shortly after Wheeler got hurt. And we felt like we had a chance to take the division. We're down 7 games. Um, Brandon Lowe hit the two home runs against Freddie Peralta. But in this start, Christian Sanchez, he's pitching. He commits a balk, and he makes mental errors, can't recover after the balk. And Vientos, I remember had a good game offensively. He went 2 for 3 with two doubles, two RBIs. Luis Torrens went 3 for 5 with a homer, and he hits five RBIs this game, and we end up winning 13-3. As Beatty's up with no balls, two strikes, count 0-2. Game two is this Lozardo game. He has a fiery game. He gets thrown out because the umpire gave Juan Soto a time delay or a battery timeout. While Luzardo was in his windup. So he pitched. I guess he's mad about that because that happened in the first inning, and then when they take him out in the fourth, he just tells the umpire. I remember he's like, "Wake the fuck up," and he gets thrown out of the game. So yeah, the Mets obviously win this game. You got to respect Luzardo's passion though. He was fired up, and he just got a contract extension. As Beatty's up, the count is 1-2 in the top of the third. And game three was Tajuan Walker versus Nolan McLean. The story is Nolan McLean this game, 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, in a scoreless start and against the NL East, leader at the time in a rivalry. That was like a playoff game. It's the end of August. So I'm super excited to see what McLean does. And for anybody who likes to make picks, if you ever see Tajuan Walker starting for the Phillies and Nolan McLean for the Mets, you got to go Mets money line. Um, and I wanted to just share one experience I had last season, September 25th. I was at the game against Chicago in Wrigley Field. One of my brother Jesse, he has a house in Chicago, invited us up there. So it's me and the wife. We fly out there. For this game, it was a cold. Was it cold? Yeah, a little bit windy night, in Chicago in Wrigley Field. And I'm trying to remember who got the start. Um, McLean got the start. Yeah, so I got to watch this kid pitch live. That was, I'll never forget that day. Now that I think about it. The series was tied 1-1, so it's the rubber match. The Cubs were in the hunt for a playoff spot, so this game had playoff implications as well. So yeah, it was definitely a playoff atmosphere. The Mets jumped to a 2-0 lead with uh with McLean on the mound. Lindor hits a homer to left field in the top of the third, so we jumped to a 3-0 lead. It's McLean versus Imanaga, and in this game, Beatty hits a 3-run homer. So we take the 6-0 lead. And yeah, like the Cubs fans are giving me the finger. I remember like it's saying like F New York, F the Mets, F the Mets. And they were like F New York. And then there was definitely like an Uncle Paulie type in the back in the bleachers. He's like, listen, Chicago, what's your murder per capita? Let's not get personal over here. So yeah, that was awesome to see. I mean, Uncle Paulie, you could tell he had some bodies in the trunk, or so he might have been connected. I don't know. He was not scared to talk about Chicago in this game. And yeah, like we won this game eight to um 8-5, right? So Suzuki hits two home runs in the game because we were winning 8-2 at one point. And it got me the important part about that in the ninth inning, they brought out Diaz. So I got to see the trumpets for the last time live as Simeon hits a oh he hits a line drive right to the pitcher, it bounces off his glove, and he throws it away to first base. So Simeon takes second on the wild throw. So I think that's going to be an error on the pitcher, error on the throw. Um, and yeah, so yeah, please like, subscribe so I can go live with this. The game's on Peacock and NBC. Um, and I'll probably just get into what we're excited for 2026. Um, and I'll try to break down the game reaction as much as I can. So third inning, bottom of the third, one out. Benj is up. Let's go, Benji. So we're all excited about this kid. He's on my list of the top five things I'm excited for in 2026. Um, I got to watch his highlights. He played for three teams. He played for what was it, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, the Syracuse Mets, and I think the Brooklyn Cyclones. But he hit for a high average. I saw the highlights. He goes opposite field. Skeens struck him out. Three fastballs in the first inning, just overpowered him. But I'm excited for this kid. I'm glad he made the team. He had a great spring training. He stepped up. He stepped up to the call. All that pressure in New York. You're gonna get the start. If it's your job to lose, and he ended up hitting better than Vientos. But I did bring up some Vientos stats because I can't lose faith in Vientos. I feel like he's gonna be a big part of the season, or it would be nice if he's a good big part of the season. Because we all remember what he did in 2024 against the Dodgers in a postseason grand slam. You know that not everyone can do that. Put it like that. So, and not in the World Series, NLCS. I don't know if I said World Series, but yeah, this is Benja's second at bat. He's 0 for 1, with the strikeout in the first. The count is 1-2, and Ramirez is pitching as Benj fights it off, fouls it off. That's what he does. Like he's not an easy kid to strike out. Um, Looks like Mendy was coaching the Yankees in 2018 to 2023. I wasn't sure these were the years. So yeah, the game's on NBC. I tried listening. I listened for the first inning. It's just not the same. I mean, we're so used to Gary, Keith, and Ron. Can I get that on opening day? Like that's why I'm like I'm watching the game in the first inning, and I'm like, I can't subscribe to this. I gotta, I've been thinking about doing this episode. Been trying, you try to be a perfectionist, make the perfect video, but at the end of the day, we're all Met fans, so I'm gonna might as well do it now as Benji strikes out. What did he swing at? It's okay, kid. Was it a high fastball? Yeah, I just gave him the heat. Up and outside. Benji swings at it. It's like a league of their own, right? Lay off the high ones. But it's about to be 1:30. See, 'cause I got some family members texting me about the game. Oh, not sure what he's talking about. But yeah, Frankie Alvarez is at the plate. Simeon's standing on second, like bring me home. The pitch is inside, sinker, ball one. So yeah, like another thing I was excited for was Juan Soto. I feel like it's tough to say that he's gonna have a bounce back year when he had 38 stolen bases and like 45 home runs, but a lot of them were solo shots, the Juan Solo shots, as it count as 1-1 on Frankie Alvarez. And yeah, I think he just hit into a lot of bad luck. There was pressure. Supposedly there was locker room issues. Who's the leader of the team? Maybe that affected Juan Soto, but he just didn't have the year that the Mets fans were expecting after that big contract. As Frankie pops it up into left field, and he gets out. So that'll bring up the top of the fourth inning. Mets with the 5-3 lead. Excuse me. So yeah, I think Juan Soto he said that he wanted to win the NL MVP to beat Ohtani. So for him to do that, he's gonna have to get a lot of RBIs, home runs. I'm not sure if the stolen bases. I'm not sure I want him stealing 40 bases because I know every time last year when I see him, slide, I'm thinking like, what if my guy gets hurt? We just paid him 800 million. Let somebody else steal the base. But yeah, I think Soto's gonna have a great year. Nolan McLean, enough said. We pitch 8 scoreless against the Phillies. I'll take that every day of the month and twice on Tuesday. So look, I'm excited for this kid. Could he be the next DeGrom? Coming out of the farm system. Um, yeah, like he was the one person, right? Don't trade him. You could trade anybody pretty much. Leave McLean alone. Obviously not Soto, but yeah. Um, Freddie Peralta, he gave up a 2-run homer. He's settling in though. We're gonna see him in the top of the fourth. And both go live. If I don't go live, um, then I'll probably just do, post game reactions. I'll make some picks for the game. So yeah, we can go over that as we're waiting for the top of the fourth. I picked Peralta to get 4.5 Ks. He's got five in the this is cool because it's like a live pick. He's got 5 Ks. I think he got the 5 Ks in the third inning, right? So that was a good one. Um, I got him going 14 and a half outs. If you like prize picks, he got 10 right now, with a 3-run lead. And Soto to get a hit, and he did. He got a hit in the first, was it the first inning? I think it was the second inning. No, the first inning, when Lindor got the walk, he fought off a hit. He fought off a ball at the hands and went to center field. Paul Skeens got 2 outs. That's the big story about today. Um, so yeah, this is kind of like a live reaction. Um, I guess post game. I would have went live, but they said you need more subscribers. So what are you gonna do? O'Hearns grounds out to first base. So you got Polanco on first base, and I mean, I guess I'll go into some more picks that I made. Juan Soto to get a base, which he got. Paul Skeens 4 hits allowed. I took that. It was at 3.5. So we hit on that, and Paul Skeens to have more than 1.5 walks. He got 2 before they took him out. So yeah, we got Peralta pitching still in the top of the fourth, with 1 out. The count is 1-1 to Triolo. Triolo, last year I remember him for not taking home, when he was at third base. That I think they threw the ball away and he just got held up at third. Juan Soto had the ball, I think, and he just he didn't even run on him. And then when we had the chance, we got that run around third home and we won the game last year. The Pirates sweeping us last year was big. I mean, there were certain teams that just, you should have won one game. You get swept by the Tampa Bay. I mean, yeah, they were hot at the time, but we could have won one of those games and we would have been in the playoffs last year. As Triolo grounds it to Lindor. Lindor fires to Polanco. I got to get used to that. And for the second out in the fourth inning. So yeah, Peralta looks locked in, man. He's not smiling like they were saying. Oh, Peralta's full of smiles and he's always happy. He doesn't look happy. He looks like he's locked in right now. And yeah, to give some background to the channel, yeah, I grew up a Met fan. Like I said, my dad took me to the 2000 World Series, the whole playoffs. What was it? San Francisco, St. Louis, and then we were in the playoffs against the Yankees. We went to every series because he was a season ticket holder. Those are the great times, chat. As Peralta throws one high, 2-0, 2 outs in the fourth with Horowitz up at bat. So my dad would kind of like, you'd have to sleep at the stadium to get tickets. This is before Ticketmaster, I think, and we would have to wait in line for like 2 days or something like that. So everyone was Mets fans, so we waited in the pretty much in the parking lot. I guess they made the line as Horowitz pops it up to Juan Soto, makes the catch to end to get the third out in the fourth, with the bottom of the fourth coming up. So yeah, this is my first game reaction, so I'm kind of practicing. But yeah, so in the top 2000 season, when we made the postseason, if you're a season ticket holder, you got to buy some. You were preferred to buy the playoff tickets or something like that. You had to wait in line. So yeah, my dad would wait there for days. They camp out, they barbecue. It was a great time. Everyone's Mets fans. We're all excited for the postseason, and it ends up with us losing to the Yankees in a World Series, Subway World Series. So when I grew up, when people would ask me like, "Hey, Mitch, you ever got your heart broken?" 2000, you know, Subway World Series. And my prediction, is going to be a homer prediction. Mets Yankees in the playoffs. Let's get that Subway World Series again, and let's get that get back after 26 years. It's crazy, man. 26 years being a fan of the Mets. Um, and yeah, I'm happy right now. There was a Met fan who, like an uncle that I had that he passed away yesterday, unfortunately, and I think he we're getting the win for him. So I'm not allowed. Sorry, as my wife just walks in. I'm trying to explain to her that the NBC broadcast is not the same. Like, I don't even need to hear it. As Lindor takes a four-pitch walk, I'm sorry, five-pitch walk in the top of the fourth inning. But yeah, I mean, we're used to hearing Gary, Keith, Ron break down, old Mets memories. They're telling stories about the last time the Mets won a World Series in 1986. As we know, Keith and Ron were on that team. Um, and as Juan Soto comes up to bat, went 1 for 2 in this game with a single and a first. He takes the pitch as he fights one off, foul, fights off a fastball right up the middle. Jesus, I need a Soto bomb right now. I need something that'll cap off this game. Um, but no, but I was saying that I grew up with the uncle that he sadly passed yesterday, and I think he would love to see a Mets win today. As Soto takes a ball low and outside, count is 1-1, unless I missed something. But yeah, I don't need to hear the commentary. Like I could literally sit and watch the game in silence. It's the same thing, you know. It sounds like I'm watching MLB The Show. As Juan takes a big hack at another fastball, strike two, swing and a miss. Where's the Juan Soto from the WBC? That's what I need. I need the Juan Soto pounding on his chest and fired up. Um, yeah, this feels like last season. We're always waiting for a Juan Soto moment. He did have a good hit in the first inning, a gritty hit, but I don't know. I'm just if he hits a home run, I'm walking around the block. Okay, the pitch that he fights it off, foul, 1-2, as he's saying something to the umpire. The umpire's like, why are you talking to me? I'm working right now. Um, I like those shades. It looks like he's in virtual reality right now. I don't know how you can see with that on. It looks like a virtual reality helmet. Here comes the pitch. Ball. What's the count? I don't even know the count. As NBC is struggling, this is why NBC should not have baseball games because usually there's a count. Um, I don't want to look at my phone because it might be ahead, but I think it's 2-2. That's what it looks like. I didn't see a third ball thrown, but they don't have the scoreboard on, so it's a little tough to. It's like watching the spring training game. Okay, there it is. It's 1-2. No, it's 2-2. No outs. Runner on first base for Juan Soto. Lindor, steal a base. I'm trying to see something right now. Um, as Juan Soto fouls it off. Who's pitching? Montgomery comes in. He's got 6 pitches in the bullpen. So let me just a recap with my wife. Paul Skeens. Remember I told you about Skeenies? He pitched for 2 outs. And the Mets put up 5 runs and they had to take him out of the game. As Juan Soto takes a ball low and away, 3-2. Juan Soto looks locked in. You got to take, if you're making picks, you got to take Juan Soto for a walk because nobody's going to want to pitch to this guy. I don't think so. In the beginning of the season, I don't think a lot of people are we're going to see if he challenges them here. And then as he throws it to first base. See, that's a weak move right there. He's checking on Lindor. Lindor's been standing in the same spot. Like, I think that's one of those you throw it to first base, take your breath. I can do this. My name's Montgomery. Okay, Montgomery, throw the pitch. As he throws a high fastball, he walks him. It wasn't even close. I'm telling you, they don't want to pitch to Soto. as Bo Bichette, Bo the Met. Yeah, Bo comes up with runners on first and second, nobody out. Um, if I would have made a pick, it would have a good pick would have been the over in this game. Who would have known, like Peralta, Skeens pitching, you would have thought we take the under, maybe one or two runs in this game. There's 8 runs in the fourth inning. As Bo fights one off, foul ball, fights off a fastball, 98 miles an hour, four seamer. As Bo collects himself, he got a sac fly in the first. He's got his first RBI with the Mets. With the average of 311 in last season with 18 homers. You don't see a high average like that anymore. As Bo swings and misses for 0-2 count. Montgomery's got 10 pitches. I like that name Montgomery. Reminds me of Alabama. That's some down south strength right there. All right, Bo locked in. 0-2, and he strikes out the high fastball. You don't really see a lot of Bo strikeouts, but there's one. Jorge Polanco's on deck. I gotta get the lineup in front of me, actually. That would help. I'm old school right now. I'm going with the pen and the pad. I was thinking of scoring the game, but didn't. Yeah, we got Jorge Polanco. Sorry, I was checking to see if my mic was on. Jorge Polanco with runners on first and second as the pitcher throws to second, checking on Lindor again. Lindor standing in the same spot. Um, Yeah, Polanco's locked in for the first pitch. He throws it in the dirt, ball one. Lindor still standing on second. I kind of want to see a double steal here. I mean, you got a 2-run lead. I don't know when they got the other third run, but I think that's when my wife walked in. You don't want to get lunch or something? No, I'm saying, do we need to get lunch? You're holding? Oh, okay. All right, let me know what we're doing for lunch. I can sign off soon in a bit. We got to get some lunch, some tacos. Hopefully a celebratory lunch as the Mets have a 5-3 lead in the top of the fourth. One out. Um, I don't know these. I don't know these. The coaches, the new coaches that they have. Last year they had Antoine Richardson on first, and he helped give all the information to read when the pitcher was going to the plate. And the Mets got the most stolen bases I've ever seen in my life. Juan Soto had 38 stolen bases. As he's looking at Lindor, it looks like they might try to double steal here. No. Okay, Polanco takes a ball. He hits it to center field, and O'Neal's gonna make the catch finally. He had an error in first inning. Two two bad misjudged, balls out in center field for O'Neal Cruz. I think he's Dominican, I feel like. I don't remember him being in the baseball classic, but I kind of wasn't following it as much as I should have. I wasn't gonna buy the Fox Sports app for the WBC. Maybe next time. Who knows? Oh, my idea I wanted to share with everybody. If there's a lockout next year, as Luis Roberts Jr. swings and misses, the count is 0-1. Yeah, if we have a lockout next year, what they should do is the WBC should just get all the players, and instead of doing like a 1 week playoff, let's do like a 3-month tournament. I haven't heard anybody say that idea. But if we're locked out and we can't watch baseball in 2027, if the players want a little leverage, coordinate with WBC and we'll have baseball to watch, and it'll be actually a better tournament because you can't do a 1 week tournament and say, oh, you're the best team in the world, because Venezuela's not a best team. They're not going to beat DR in a 7-game series. So, just an idea. As Luis Roberts has the bat, 1-2. They pitch. He struck him out on a curveball, 87 miles per hour. Oh no, he fouled it off. I didn't see him hit that. But yeah, I think at the end of this inning, we're gonna sign off. As the Mets have the 5-3 lead. There might be a post-game reaction video. Like, share, subscribe so we can go live one day. As Luis Roberts hits a single, Lindor's gonna go home. The throw, he's safe. And the Mets take a 6-3 lead. Let's go. What was the over? I think we hit the over. Juan Soto's on second base. Luis Roberts Jr. I always liked Luis Roberts Jr. He was on the White Sox last year. Yeah, he's got a lot of injury history, but he just fought off, he just had a great at bat. I thought he struck out at one point, and he just hits a single right out of the reach of the shortstop and drives Lindor. I believe that's his first RBI as a New York Met. But yeah, I'm excited for this kid, Luis Roberts Jr. Because last year it felt like center field was a what is it called? The black hole, you know? And why everything negative got to be black? But in center field, it was just a hole in the lineup. Like every time our center fielder would come up at bat, it was an out. So yeah, got Beatty up at with the 0-1 count. Carson Bench is all smiles. Juan Soto looks locked in. He's trying to get his first stolen base. Not from second base, dude. Uh, ball one, 1-1. Episode one of the Mitchy Man podcast. Tell your friends, tell your fellow Met fans. Yeah, Frankie's already in his getting ready with his putting on his catcher's gear. Buddy, we're still 2 outs. You think Beatty's gonna get out? As Beatty's batting sixth in the lineup. I wonder if Vientos gets a pinch hit over here. Not that we need it, but let's see. Oof, close, low fastball as the count is 3-1 to Brett Beatty. Let's go, me. Vamos, mi bati. And 3-1 count. The pitch. Oh, and he strikes. Oh, big swing and a miss from Beatty. The count is 3-2. Bottom of the fourth inning. Let's go, Mets. Uh, who's on deck? Simeon is on deck. He went 2 for 2 with a double and a single today. Jesus. As Beatty strikes out looking. It's the end of the fourth. And trying to get the confirmation if we're going to get lunch or not. If not, we'll probably stay on. We'll see what happens. Um, yeah, so getting into the lineup, I had put up a list of the stats for last year's team. Babe, are we gonna get lunch or no? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna sign off. Like, share, subscribe. More videos to come. Peace out. And hopefully we get the win.